What's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. Let me turn my speaker off. Okay, because I tried to do two videos today and let the speaker on both times. For some reason, it likes interference. It distorts my sound. Makes me sound like I'm underwater. But anyways, we got a article to read here. You can see it in front of you. I'm using Google Doc for the first time. At least on my screen recorder, I did it this way just because it just gives me more customization, more options. I can I can edit the text. I can make use bold, different colors, make it bigger, smaller, and I like it. I think I'm gonna do articles like this from now on. Of course, I'll leave a link in the description. I didn't alter any text, obviously, 'cause I care about ethics. Even though I'm not a real journalist, well, I mean, technically anybody could be a journalist. You got a pen and paper or a microphone, you can be a journalist. You don't have to go to journalism school for that. But I care about ethics. I care about the truth. I'm not gonna just come on and make shit up or change a news story. Anyways, let's get to it. The title of the article, I can't remember the title. I closed the thing, but I tried to clean up the tabs. But it's from NBC. I'll leave a link, like I said. Oh, actually, I do know the title. It's called Peter Hegseth's plan to fire military generals makes no sense, something like that. And it's by a guy who was I believe I didn't get his rank, Jeff McCausland. Let's see what he was ranked. Define. Fuck it, man. I guess I can't like open it in a new tab. Okay, man, screw it. I'm trying to keep this thing clean. Let's not get off track. We're already off track. My original plan was to read the article straight through with no interruptions, but I have a serious problem with I never know how to start a video or end it. The middle is always the smoothest part. Just trying to set the scene here. Uh, yeah, I can't remember the guy's rank. I guess you'll find out in the article or whatever. But let's go ahead and start reading. I do know this guy, Senator Jack Reed, is a Democrat. Um, the from the Senate Armed Services Committee. I put his quote first because it really just it sets the scene. It just sets the context of what we're talking about, and he makes a great point. Jack Reed, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, questioned Exit's rationale for the cuts and warned dismissing top officers without sound justification could cripple the military. I've always advocated for efficiency at the Department of Defense, but tough personnel decisions should be based on facts and analysis, not arbitrary percentages. Eliminating the positions of many of our most skilled and experienced officers without sound justification would not create efficiency in the military and cripple it, Reed said in a statement Monday. Secretary Hegseth has shown an eagerness to dismiss military leaders without cause, and I'll be skeptical of the rationale for these plans until he explains them before the Armed Services Committee, which he's not going to do. And we all know the reason he's doing this. It's gonna and this McCausland fellow, he gets it too. He says at the very end of the article, it's an ideological purge. It's not hard to figure out if you have half a brain, two brain cells to rub together. And Trump said he's gonna do this. He said he's gonna get rid of the generals that differ with him ideologically because Mark Milley and I think somebody else came out and called him a fascist and hurt his little precious fucking feelings. And if the shoe fits, dumbass, if the shoe fucking fits. But he is a fascist. Fascists deport people to foreign countries without due process. What the fuck you want us to call you? Anyways, that's what it is. He wants to get rid of all these journals because they've done. I guarantee you, they sent out loyalty tests, probably a few questions asking she's like about lawful orders and all this bullshit, and they found out who the generals and the admirals are that aren't gonna carry out unlawful orders. They're gonna get rid of them, and they're gonna only have sycophants left, and then we're fucked. And once again, thank you to America, not the good people. Thank you to the idiots who went out and gave your vote away to Donnie Dumbass. We warned don't do this. I warned don't do any of that. I was right about everything, the tariffs, the economy, all this bullshit. And you think I'm just arrogant or just bragging? It's on the channel. It's called having a YouTube channel, everything documented. I was right about everything. Another thing I was right about, Pete fucking Hegseth. The title of that video, it's like 9 minutes. I ain't going on too hard because it's all out there. Everybody knew it already. I said it was called Peter Hegseth is unfit to lead the DOD or breathe the free man's air. And I gave several reasons why, sourced. And here we are with the worst Secretary of Defense we've ever had. We were all right. Us on the left, we were right about all this. And one day you idiots will understand that when it's too late. You're dumb for a reason. I'm not talking to right wingers. If there's a right winger listening to this, you're below us intellectually. I don't know how to say this in a nice way. I'm going to say it in a very concise, clear, frank way. You're dumber than us. Right wingers have less intellectual capacity than people on the left. We actually think about things like philosophy. We have ideas and policies to fix this country and get it moving forward. All you have is purges and destruction. because that's what a dumb person does. It takes skill, intelligence, patience, perseverance to build something. Any idiot can destroy. And that's what these Republicans do. They're destroyers because they don't have the capacity to build anything meaningful. Jeff McCausland, Defense Secretary Peter Hegseth plan to dismiss 10% of the active duty general. And tell me if I'm just if I'm just talking shit, what kind of Secretary of Defense does this and has a good brain? Like this guy's brain's been fried by alcohol, all the alcohol abuse, and God knows what else. You don't fire senior level admirals in general. China would never do that. That makes us less war ready, you dumb motherfucker. 10% of active duty generals and flag officers and eliminate 20% of four-star general officer positions in the active duty military was announced in a memo that says the Pentagon must cultivate exceptional senior leaders who drive innovation and operational excellence. You're not going to get that, dumbass. You'd be left with the right wingers who have never innovated anything besides fascism and hate. You're masters at that. That's all you have. But we're all left wondering what problem does this plan reduction solve? Or is it the Trump administration's indictment of the current senior leadership of the United States military? He's asking the hard questions. What analysis was conducted that resulted in these proposed reductions? Are they just arbitrary percentages? Yes, they're arbitrary percentages because right wingers don't do statistical fucking analysis. They don't know how. The American public deserves to know the strategy that's motivating this plan. You just have zero respect for people on the right. You are fucking morons. I can't talk to you like a man or human being anymore because you didn't treat me that way. I tried to talk to right wingers like men, or like grown women or whatever they consider themselves. And all I get is MAGA, fake news, just bullshit shouted back. I try to share empirical evidence and polls with you. You just showed me you lack the intellectual capacity to talk to me like a goddamn man, so I don't respect you. I feel sorry for you. The Pentagon's May 5 memorandum for senior leadership also directed a 20% reduction in general officers in the National Guard, said memo provides few details on how this is to be affected and sets no deadline. But this effort will unquestionably have a profound impact not only on our nation's military leadership, but also the direction of American national security policy in the future. Hegseth has said it's not a slash and burn exercise. That's exactly what it is. It's literally what it is. It's that by definition. They can't even do propaganda well. Like we can see everything you're saying and doing, dumbass. Like this guy's brain seriously gone. That's why I stopped drinking fucking 4 years ago. I realized what it was doing to my brain. It changes your behavior, it makes you stupider. It literally kills your brain cells. It's poison. Ethanol is poison. But it looks like he drank heavily. It looks like it is. The secretary has also declared that the goal is fewer generals and more GIs. That's a catchy tagline, but there's no correlation between the two. I like this guy. Reducing the number of generals and admirals will not necessarily generate significant resources that can be devoted to expanding the force. It's hard to argue that the military should be exempt from reductions in manpower and spending that President Donald Trump's administration is pursuing more generally. Clearly, the Pentagon, the world's largest bureaucracy, has grown over time. Those in favor of reducing the number of officers point out that there are approximately 800 active duty general officers or flag officers for roughly 1.3 million troops, or one such officer for every 1.4 thousand troops. During World War II, and admittedly, oh, I said admittedly, I can't read. Different era, the ratio was one such officer for every 6,000 troops. The argument is that what we see now is evidence of a rank creep that doesn't enhance mission success, but only clutters the chain of command and adds bureaucratic layers to decision making. I just don't see it that way. Like it seems like the military's working pretty great to me. Like, yes, there's always fraud and abuse in the military. They can't account for a lot of the money, but are we not safe? When do we get attacked? I like the military the fucking way it is. So I don't complain about big military budgets. They're that way for a fucking reason. But I don't agree with $1 trillion military budget though. It's not time for that. I feel like $1 trillion military, you shouldn't even talk about that until like 20 years from now. Like $1 trillion? It's only like 848 now. That's crazy. What do you need $1 trillion military? But we're not at war. Like, We're already crushing China in terms of spending. It's not even close. We crush every country combined. Why do we need a trillion? Like to me, that's just excess. Well, we're nearly 80 years past World War II, and increasing complexity of the 21st century warfare has necessitated dramatic changes in force, structure, procurement, and strategy. For example, the United States established a new functional command, Cyber Command, in 2010, and a new service, Space Force, in 2019. Hegseth's order will result in the forced retirement of roughly 150 senior officers, many of whom have vast experience in national security affairs. More than that, it could also encourage more junior general officers to opt for retirement. There are currently 38 active duty four-star positions in the United States military, including the chief of the National Guard Bureau. The 38 include 11 Army generals, 3 Marine generals, 8 Navy admirals, 12 Air Force generals, and 3 Space Force generals. The vast majority serve in command positions such as Chief of Staff of the Army or Staff of Naval Operations or on the staff of Joint Chiefs of Staff. A lot of staff. The rest either command forces in geographic regions around the globe, such as CENTCOM for the Middle East, European Command or Pacific Command, or functional commands like Transportation Command or Strategic Command. For this is so redundant. It's hard to read. It's so boring. The elimination of at least 8 of these positions would require significant reorganization of the American military forces and national security personnel, which they're not going to be able to do. Like, that's a big job. These guys aren't competent. It's going to be a fucking disaster. It's going to be a shit show. Hicks's plan in the latest is the latest in Trump's broader assault on leadership of the American military. He already fired about half a dozen 3 and 4-star officers, stupid, including the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, the chief of naval operations, and the commandant, or is it commandant or commandant? I guess it doesn't matter. The commandant, let's say commandant, so we can sound fancy. The commandant of the Coast Guard. This was ostensibly to root out wait, motherfucker. To root out diversity, equity, and inclusion from the military. Jesus fucking Christ. We've had DI in the military since World War II. You wouldn't have won that fucking war without a lot of black soldiers. This is how you fucking treat us. This guy's just such a fucking piece of shit. It's fucking garbage. I have no respect for Pete Hegseth. He's a dumb fucking alcoholic piece of fucking trash. Not a human at all. Rapist as well. Many fear that this was largely because the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff. Actually, we've had DI in the military since the fucking Civil War. That's called the fucking Union Army. So you fuck this guy, DEI. It's like it's bad. You would have lost those fucking wars. I'm sure PX probably would actually like us to have lost the Civil War, if you know what I mean. Joint Chiefs of Staff was African American, and the Coast Guard command. You can't decide whether I want to say commander or commandant. Commandant, as well as the chief of the naval operations, were women. So of course they got fired. Once again, DEI. The 70% of the beneficiaries of DEI are white women. It ain't even us. Later, at the urging of Laura Loomer, ugh, I'm glad there's not a picture. Later, at the urging of Laura Loomer, a right-wing social media activist who promotes conspiracy theory that 9/11 was orchestrated by the U.S. government. Oh my God. The president fired National Security Agency Director General. They forgot why. Timothy. I'll fix it for him. Timothy Up and his deputy. Luber argued that retired General Mark Milley, a former Joint Chiefs chairman, what do he thinks about all this? He's probably fuming at home. Can't say shit about it. I guess now he can't call Trump a fascist already. I guess he's retired. He can say it now, but I guess it wouldn't even matter because he's probably afraid now Trump might come after him. He's probably gonna keep his fucking mouth shut. And it pointed up and that he was disloyal to Trump. So is Hegseth's plan an effort to streamline the Pentagon bureaucracy or further politicize the American military? But I gotta say, man, speaking your mind, I'm glad I have no power and I'm just nobody. 'Cause it feels good to be able to speak your mind against this fucking asshole. I can't imagine sitting at home like afraid for your life, hiring private security. Be like, can I say this? Can I speak my mind about Donnie dumbass? I'm glad I have no fucking power and no following. Because it feels good to be able to speak your mind as an American citizen. Jesus Christ. If people forget we had the First Amendment, sad. All right. Does Texas seek to open leadership positions in the American military that can be filled by officers? Like, if I couldn't speak on it, I'd just kill myself. I'm being real. I'd rather be dead. by officers based on their political beliefs and loyalty to the president as opposed to their knowledge and experience. The secretary described previous firings as a reflection of the president wanting the right people around him. This is how we wrap up. This is getting real. This is what I was referring to. And Trump argued during the campaign he would weed out military officers ideologically opposed to him. Hegseth says his goal is to make the American military more efficient, but his actions suggest he's crippling it. That's the article. I agree with every single word that guy said. And dark days ahead, of course. And what do you expect? You went out and threw your vote away to this guy speaking at third grade level who's vengeful. He's unstable, incompetent, racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic. He's like all the bad qualities you can have in a man. And America's like, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. You're not getting anything good out of this but a broken fucking society and no food to eat, no products to buy on the shelves. And I just thought it was worth it because I just thought it was worth it. I put thought into my vote. I've never regretted one of my votes because decide months before an election who I'm voting for because I can read, I can actually break down information and understand policies. And I look at all the candidates, I look at all the information, I decide who comports to my worldview the most, and I vote for that person. And people out here vote on vibes. That could never be me. I vote on cold hard analysis, never vibes, never feelings. And unfortunately, 90% of America isn't like that. This is how you wind up with a fucking fascist.